There are moments in history when humanity is shaken awake. Moments when everything we thought was stable suddenly begins to crumble. And today, you and I are standing in the middle of one of those moments. Montemagno, a man who has observed technology for decades, gives a warning that echoes louder every single day. 50% of jobs will disappear. Not in 100 years, not in 50, but in the next decade. Maybe even sooner. But let me tell you something from the very beginning. This is not a message of fear. This is a call to awaken. Because when old worlds collapse, new worlds emerge. When doors close, new doors open. When systems fall apart, new possibilities rise from the dust. Think about your own life for a second. Think about how many times you believed something was permanent, a job, a routine, a relationship, only to realize that permanence is an illusion. Everything changes, everything evolves, everything transforms. You have already survived transitions you never thought you could handle. So why be afraid now? The truth is, jobs aren't disappearing because humans are failing. Jobs are disappearing because humans are evolving. The tools we created, machines, software, artificial intelligence, are not replacing us. They are challenging us to step into a higher version of ourselves. But most people don't see that yet. They are stuck in the comfort of the familiar. They hold on to the past, like an old coat that no longer fits. They say, "This is the job I know. This is the skill I have. This is what I studied." But life doesn't care about what you studied 20 years ago. Life only cares about what you're willing to learn today. The factories of yesterday built muscles. The offices of today built habits. But the world of tomorrow will demand minds that can think, adapt, create, and reinvent. This is not the first time humans have faced such a shift. When agriculture replaced hunting, thousands resisted. When factories replaced farms, millions panicked. When computers replaced manual writing, people complained. But those who embraced the shift became the creators of the next chapter. Every era belongs to the ones who are awake while everyone else sleeps. And now here you are, watching this video, listening to this message. You are already ahead of the majority because you are aware. You feel the change. You sense the urgency. And somewhere deep inside you, a voice is whispering, "It's time to grow." This is not a warning meant to scare you. This is a wake-up call meant to prepare you for the greatest opportunity of your life. Because when the world transforms, the bold don't suffer, the bold rise. But rising is not automatic. Change doesn't ask your permission. The world will shift whether you evolve or not. So let's start this journey together. Let's walk into the chaos, not with fear, but with intention. Let's break the chains of old thinking. Let's ignite that fire inside you, the fire that was never meant to remain small. Welcome to your awakening. Welcome to the next era of your life. You know what scares people the most? It's not that jobs will disappear. It's the fear of losing the identity attached to those jobs. For years, maybe decades, society has told you, you are your job, you are your position, you are your role, you are your title. You introduce yourself and the first question people ask is, what do you do? Do. Not, who are you? Because the world has convinced us that we are nothing more than the tasks we perform. A driver fears the rise of self-driving cars. A cashier fears automation. An accountant fears software. A writer fears AI. A factory worker fears robots. Even high-level professionals, lawyers, designers, consultants, feel the pressure as technology becomes more intelligent. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Jobs may disappear, but your value does not. Your identity is not your job. Your worth is not your position. Your destiny is not defined by a paycheck. You are a creator of value. You are a thinker, a problem solver, a storyteller, a builder. And those qualities can be reshaped, redirected, reinvented. Let me ask you something powerful. If the job you have today vanished, tomorrow, what part of you would remain? Your discipline would remain. Your experience would remain. Your curiosity would remain. Your ability to adapt would remain. your hunger to grow would remain. The world can take your role, but it cannot take your resourcefulness. The real fear is not losing a job. The real fear is losing purpose. But purpose is never tied to a single occupation. Purpose evolves, purpose grows, purpose shifts. Purpose transforms with you. Every obstacle you ever faced, heartbreak, financial struggle, failure, has prepared you for reinvention. Think of a moment when life forced you to change. Maybe you lost someone you loved. Maybe you moved to a new city. Maybe you had to start over from nothing. Didn't you survive? Didn't you adapt? Didn't you find strength you didn't even know you had? You are far more powerful than the job you hold. So, when Montemagno says 50% of your jobs will disappear, don't hear it as destruction. Hear it as liberation. Hear it as a message that the world is opening a door for you, a door to discover possibilities that were invisible before. But reinvention requires courage. Courage to let go of the old. Courage to step into the unfamiliar. Courage to stand up and say, I am willing to learn again. Yes, you may be starting over at 20. Yes, you may be starting over at 40. Yes, you may be starting over at 60. But starting over is not a setback. It is a powerful decision that says, I refuse to be left behind. I choose to rise. The people who thrive in the new world aren't the smartest. They aren't the richest. They aren't the most educated. They are the ones who never stop learning, never stop adapting, never stop reinventing. So ask yourself, are you willing to evolve? Are you willing to rebuild? Are you willing to become someone new? Because the world is changing fast, but so can you. Let's be honest. Most people are waiting for a miracle, waiting for the government, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for someone to rescue them. But here's the truth that hurts at first but sets you free forever. No one is coming to save you, not your boss, not your school, not your company, not your friends, not your parents, not technology, not society. You are on your own, and at the same time, you are enough. The world is moving at lightning speed. Technology evolves every 5 minutes, demands change every month. Industries collapse and new ones rise in a single year. If you sit still, you fall behind. If you wait, you lose. If you depend on others, you become fragile. People say, I don't have time to learn. But they have hours for scrolling, gossip, drama, distractions. People say, I don't know where to start, but they never take the first step. People say, I'm afraid to fail, but they fail every day by refusing to try. The most painful truth is this: comfort destroys more lives than failure ever will. Comfort makes you slow. Comfort makes you blind. Comfort tricks you into thinking you have more time, but you don't. This is your life. This is your moment. This is your responsibility. The world is changing, but most people aren't. Computers are learning, but most people aren't. Opportunities are growing, but most people aren't. Success today is not about being perfect. It's about being prepared to adapt, prepared to learn, prepared to outgrow the older version of yourself. Maybe you're done and no coding. Maybe you can't build an AI. Maybe you don't understand technology. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are willing to evolve. Because the most important skill in the world today is not programming. It is adaptability. The ability to say, I don't know this yet, but I am willing to learn. Every expert began as a beginner. Every master was once a student. Every giant took their first step in fear. So stop underestimating yourself. Stop thinking you're too late. Stop convincing yourself that the future is too big for you. The truth. You're more capable than you think. You're more resilient than you know. You're stronger than your excuses. Your future does not depend on luck. It depends on your choices. You can complain, or you can build, you can fear, or you can prepare, you can freeze, or you can evolve. And if you choose evolution, the world will not replace you. The world will reward you. This moment in history is not just a technological shift, it is a human shift. A shift where courage will matter more than certificates. Creativity will matter more than job titles. Awareness will matter more than experience. The coming era will reward people who can adapt faster than the world changes. People who are curious, people who are willing to reinvent, people who don't wait for permission. Think of the skills that the future cannot replace. AI cannot replace your ability to care. AI cannot replace your ability to lead. AI cannot replace your ability to inspire. AI cannot replace your ability to dream. AI cannot replace your ability to connect. AI cannot replace your ability to think critically. AI cannot replace your ability to see opportunity where others see fear. The new world will need problem solvers. It will need innovators. It will need creators. It will need people with empathy. It will need leaders with heart. Technology may take half the jobs. But it will also create opportunities bigger than anything humanity has ever seen. But only for those who are ready. Imagine a future where you wake up excited, not afraid. Imagine a life where you don't chase jobs. Jobs chase you. Imagine a world where your skills, your mindset, your creativity become your greatest currency. That future is real. That future is possible. That future is waiting for you. But it begins with one simple decision. The decision to grow. Maybe you start by learning one new skill. Maybe you start by reading one book. Maybe you start by taking one online course. Maybe you start by practicing for 30 minutes a day. Maybe you start by thinking bigger, dreaming bigger, believing bigger. Growth doesn't happen overnight, but transformation begins instantly, the moment you choose to act. You may not see results today. You may not see results next week. But one day, people will look at you and say, "You are so lucky," and they will never understand that your luck was built from discipline, persistence, and courage. This world is not ending. It is beginning again, and you have a chance to shape that beginning. So here we stand, at the edge of the old world and the beginning of the new. A world where 50% of jobs may disappear, but where 100% of your potential can finally emerge. This is the moment when you choose who you will become, not tomorrow, not next month. Now, life is giving you a choice. You can stay who you are, or you can become who you are meant to be. You can cling to the past, or you can step into the future. You can fear the change, or you can become the change. In 10 years, you will look back at this moment, and you will either say, "That was the moment I decided to rise," or "That was the moment I stayed the same." The world doesn't need more people who survive. The world needs people who lead, who create, who build, who inspire, who transform. You were not born to be replaced. You were born to be remarkable. The future does not belong to the fearful. The future belongs to the prepared, the adaptable, the resilient, the unstoppable. You have everything you need. You have strength. You have brilliance. You have fire. You have potential waiting like a giant inside you, a giant that has slept for too long. Wake it up. Rise. Reset. Reinvent. Become the version of yourself that the future is waiting for. The world is changing. But so are you, and the world cannot replace someone who has decided to become exceptional. This is your time, your era, your evolution, your rise. Now go, build, learn, grow, become irreplaceable, because the future belongs to the ones who refuse to be left behind.